Going through a heartbreak is one of the most painful experiences a human being could ever endure. And I'm here to guide you through every step of the way. If you clicked on this video, you're probably going through a heartbreak. And I first of all commend you for having such strength and such courage to go out there and know that you deserve to live the best life possible. Because I believe most people do not fully recover from heartbreaks, and it always catches up with them later on. So if you follow these 10 steps, I will ensure that you set yourself up for amazing growth, for a glow up, and to become the best version of yourself so that this does not dictate the rest of your life. There is so much toxic advice out there that personally, when I was going through my heartbreak and I was looking for online resources, so many YouTube videos, so many podcasts about how to get your ex jealous, how to win them back, how to get revenge, and all that stuff is just garbage. I'm sorry, it's complete nonsense. And it's all created to protect your ego. When you go through a heartbreak, you have to accept that this is the death of your ego, meaning that version of yourself that wants to protect yourself, wants to numb the pain. That version of you has to go away in order for you to heal properly. I'm going to break down your healing process into 10 easy steps to follow that will help ensure that you recover from this and come out of this the strongest, the best version of yourself. All right, so let's get into it. 10-step guide to heal from a heartbreak the best way possible. Step 1, no contact. This goes without explaining, but I'm still going to explain it because a lot of people have a really difficult time with this. And so I'm going to explain it anyways. You're not going to contact your ex in any shape or form. You're not going to call, you're not going to text, you're not going to stalk them on social media. You need to delete them on every platform possible. Social media, from your phone, delete photos. I'm sure it used to be so much easier to go no contact back in the old days when social media didn't exist, because when you break up and there was no internet, there's literally no way of keeping in touch with that person. But now with Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, you can just casually peruse and look them up and look their friends up and look their family members up. There's no such thing as being friends with your ex. That's just not good for you. You need to truly let go of this person and truly cut off all contact with them. It's going to hurt so much in the beginning, but it's going to help you so much more in the long run. Going no contact is truly one of the best ways possible. And why it works scientifically is because love induces the same chemicals in your brain that a drug would. All right. So you need to equate yourself to a drug addict. When you're going through a heartbreak, you're essentially going through withdrawal. And so just as a heroin addict is going to crave the drug, you're going to crave that person. You're going to crave any sort of crumb you can get from that person. And what is one of the best methods to quit drugs? Cold turkey. You completely cut it out of your entire life. And that's what I need you to do with this person if you truly want to heal and recover as best as possible. Step 2, survival mode. This is mainly for the beginning. When you have first separated from this person, like I said, you're essentially a drug addict. You're going to go through painful withdrawals. In fact, it's been scientifically proven that heartbreaks can actually cause physical pain in your body. So what I want you to do for the next several weeks is I want you to just be in what I call survival mode. And that means just exist, all right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to put any pressure on yourself. Now's the time where your main priority is to just take care of yourself. Don't worry about anything else, but focus on just your existence. The fact that you woke up, dressed yourself, ate breakfast, maybe went to work and school, that is a win. And you should be proud of that. I know myself that when I was going through a heartbreak, it was so difficult to even get out of bed, to even feed myself. You just kind of lose a will to live. I want you to just take care of yourself. I know that during this time, especially in the beginning, it's going to feel like your world is ending. It's going to feel like the worst pain ever. You're just not going to understand that there's a future in your life. And it's so hard to be positive during this time because you just assume that your world is ending and you're never going to be happy again. But I promise you, you will. And I promise you that better days are coming, but for now, I just need you to blindly trust me. Step 3, sit with the pain. This is probably going to be the toughest part of the recovery process, but it's essential and you cannot speed this process up. You have to go right through it. We're not going to sit here and pretend like this heartbreak is not the worst experience of your life. It is. It's terrible. It's gut-wrenching. This is someone who you envisioned your entire life with. A lot of the heartbreak is not just that person, but it's the future that you envisioned with them. It's the version of yourself that you are with them. So all of this combined makes it an incredibly painful loss. And now is your time to grieve. Do not numb with alcohol, with drugs. A lot of people often get obsessive at work or at the gym, and a little bit is healthy, right? To have healthy distractions, but you don't want to completely distract yourself from the pain. Otherwise, it's going to come out in the future, my friend. It will. I promise you it will. There's no way you can avoid the pain. You have to go through it. You have to go through it so that you can ensure that future you has a easy and peaceful life and you don't have suppressed emotions and suppressed pain. When you start feeling this pain kind of bubble up in your chest, you just let it out. One thing that I did when I was going through my heartbreak is I cried it out. And the way I thought about it is that you only have a certain reservoir of tears. And the more you let it out, the less you'll have in the future. You're not going to grieve this person forever, I promise you. But now is the time to grieve. Right now is the time where you let it out, not in 10 years. So make sure you go through the pain, you sit with it, and you let it out. Step 4, talk it out. I don't care if you're the most macho, manly guy who doesn't talk about their feelings. That's so tacky. It is so important to talk about your feelings. It's so important to express the pain, the grief that you're going through with other people. I hate to break it to you, but you're not the only person who's going through a heartbreak. Millions and millions of people are. And it's so good to talk to people who have been through this experience so that you can know there's a way out. You need someone to bounce off ideas with. What can often happen is you can go inwards and start ruminating about things. And then you may even convince yourself that you want to go back to this person, or you would romanticize them and make them seem greater than they are, or you start blaming yourself for everything. You can just take a lot of dark turns if you repress and you do not talk to other people around you. And so the most healthy thing to do is to talk it out. Talk with friends, talk with family. If you don't have family members or friends that you can really trust with your feelings, then go to a therapist. Now's the time to invest in yourself. And yeah, it might be expensive, but it's going to help save money in the long run. And if for some reason you can't afford therapy, then what really is helpful is journaling. Grab a nice journal, and every single morning or night, I want you to write a journal entry. And it's going to feel weird at first, like, what am I doing? I don't know, this is cringy. Forget that. Eventually, you're going to learn to love this. Journaling literally changed my life for the better. So if you don't have friends or family to talk to or can't get a therapist, journal, because then you let everything out that you're thinking of and you're not just stuck in your head 24/7. Thinking too much can be bad for you. It can. So talking it out with other people is extremely important. You need people to remind you, no, this person wasn't 100% great all the time, or your relationship wasn't always flowers and dandies, this needed to happen. They're going to help you think about it in more logical and realistic terms. If you don't talk it out, you're going to be that person who talks about their ex 10 years later, and no one wants to do that. Now's the time. Now's the perfect time to talk to other people, get your ideas and thoughts out, and allow other people to help you. It's one of the most beautiful things about us humans is that we all go through similar pain, similar experiences. So talking it out, extremely important. Step 5, go on walks. This is such an underrated step in terms of my healing process. Going on walks is so healing. It helps put things into perspective because you realize you're part of a much greater thing when you go outside the confines of your bedroom and you go out into the real world. When you're walking, you're releasing dopamine. These are the feel-good chemicals in your body. You're getting the vitamin D from the sun. You're grounding yourself with nature. You're breathing fresh air instead of air-conditioned air. You're seeing other people. You're waving at them. You're smiling. You're having good interactions. And if you wanted even more benefit from your walk, then you can listen to podcasts about healing from a breakup. In fact, pause this video, go outside, and then listen to me as you're walking. It's gonna be like you're walking with a friend who's holding your hand and helping you get through a breakup. And that's exactly what I want you to feel. And then another thing you could do during your walk, grab some matcha, get some coffee, get your favorite headphones, you walk outside. Truly, probably one of the most helpful things is to go outside and go on a walk. Step 6. Make an ick list. Like I was saying, you're essentially a drug addict. And what do drug addicts do? They try to convince themselves to do anything possible to get their drug, to get their dopamine. And so you're going to be doing that during your breakup. You're going to be finding any reason to get into contact with them or to romanticize in your head that, they were actually the perfect person for you and you realized that you made a big mistake. You're going to do all of it just to talk to this person again so that you can get that dopamine again. So in order to snap yourself back into reality, what I need you to do is prepare for these moments because inevitably you're going to get weak. And so what we're going to do is make an ick list. So I want you to grab your notes up or grab a journal and just jot down 10 things about this person that just were an ick, or 10 reasons why you knew the relationship just would not work out. And if you have a difficult time coming up with this list, then have a friend who knows this person or knows this relationship help you so that every time you get weak, you pull out this list and you just remind yourself. And this is not to bash on this person and hate this person. It's to acknowledge that yes, while they're a good person, here are 10 reasons why it actually wouldn't have worked out. And actually, they weren't my soulmate, because if they were, then you wouldn't be watching this video and you wouldn't be in this situation. Okay, so now we're starting to get over the really difficult parts and we're getting into the more fun and exciting parts of the healing process. Step 7 is manifesting. Now, you get to actually envision a future life for yourself where life is a lot better. Remember how early on in this video, especially in step 2, survival mode, you can't even think about a future for yourself. The best thing you can do is just make sure you wake up and you take care of yourself and you feed yourself. But now is a time where you can actually think about your future and how amazing and how incredible it's going to be. And you get to manifest your dream partner. I want you to take all these painful experiences that you've had from this past relationship and turn it into some things that you're not going to repeat in the future so that you can have a dream relationship with the person who was actually made for you, my friend. The thing is, we often mourn our past relationship because we just feel like there's not anything better out there, and we're in this scarcity mindset where we don't think we're gonna find anyone. This often keeps us in very bad situations. I want you to switch that to an abundance mindset. I promise you, there are people out there who would do so much for you, far and beyond, who would treat you like a queen or a king and take care of you and know you and accept you and love you with open arms. I promise you there are people out there. And so now's the fun part. You get to actually manifest this person and envision, what do you want your future partner to look like? It's time we stop getting chosen and we start doing the choosing. You're not just going to settle for crumbs. You're going to actually envision all these things that you want your future partner to have, and we are not settling for anything less. I promise you, your dream person is out there. But the more you stay stuck on your past and your ex, the longer you're going to delay meeting your dream person. And think about it. Each heartbreak is one step closer to your dream person. You could literally bump into your dream person tomorrow. So it's time we make that list so we make sure we get it right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the store and grab yourself a cute card. And then go to a cafe, order a latte, preferably a matcha latte, but you could get whatever one you'd like. Then I want you to sit down and I want you to write a letter to your future partner. But here's the main trick you got to do. You got to write it as if you're already with them. So you're writing a love letter to your person that you're going to be with, but you write it as if you're already with them. I know it kind of sounds delusional, but you know what else sounds delusional? Assuming you're going to die alone. Both are delusional. Don't you want to be delusional in the right way? In this letter, I want you to talk about their qualities. What are things you love about them? What are things you're appreciative and grateful for about them? And I just want you to keep that letter with you at all all times. And whenever you're feeling discouraged about your future, I want you to read that. And then when you meet this dream partner, how cute would it be to read them this letter that you made for them? Isn't that so romantic? You already thought about them, you already envisioned them, and you had written them a letter from the past. This is pretty genius, guys. Step 8, meditate. So if you're new to meditation, then I highly recommend guided meditations where someone's just kind of walking you through it. And there's tons of great ones on YouTube. My personal favorite are Deepak Chopra's meditations. I swear, this man has lulled me to sleep every single night. And it's really important to listen to these, especially if you're having difficult time sleeping, which we know during a heartbreak can be really difficult. And you need your sleep so that you can maintain your health and you can have energy for the next day. Highly recommend guided meditations. And eventually you can work yourself up to meditations where you're completely in silence. But guided meditations to begin with, we'll take it easy. Step 9 is listening to affirmations. Going through a heartbreak is a big hit on your ego. And we often internalize this and assume that it's our fault and assume that something was wrong with us, that we were broken or that we're unworthy of love. None of that's true, but the brain just makes all that up because it's scared and it's really uncomfortable because you're going through this massive change. And the brain does not like change. It likes comfort, it likes homeostasis, it just likes being cozy. So you're gonna convince yourself of all these negative things. And so now's the time where you have to actually go back into your brain and rewire your thoughts so that you start thinking about yourself positively. And affirmations can be incredibly helpful for this. There's so many out there. There's tons on Spotify, on YouTube that you can listen to. And I want you to listen to this on a daily basis. It's easy enough to do on your drive to work, or if you're on that walk, you can listen to affirmations that are going to help rewire your brain so that you turn your negative thinking back into positive thinking. Now is not the time to be listening to this garbage from your brain about how terrible of a person you are. Now's the time for love, for abundance, for positivity, so you can gain the strength and confidence that you need to heal from this. The more you listen to affirmations, it's going to start working on a subconscious level where you start thinking about yourself in more positive terms. When you start thinking about yourself positively, you're going to be more confident. When you're more confident, you're going to know your self-worth. And when you know your self-worth, then you're going to be less likely to blame yourself for the heartbreak. And when you're less likely to blame yourself, you can finally reach the stage of acceptance where it wasn't one person's fault or the other. It was just that you two weren't a good fit. And then now you can move on and actually find someone who would be a good match. Step 10, knowledge. Knowledge is power. The more you know about a situation, the more you're able to understand it and the less personal it gets. Knowledge can provide so much more closure than actually talking to your ex. You can learn so much about what went wrong in your relationship and how to avoid repeating these certain mistakes. You should read about attachment styles, read about family trauma, past trauma, and how it affects your relationships. Read about why you tend to repeat certain patterns in your relationship, why you tend to be with certain people or be drawn or attracted towards certain people with attachment styles. And the more you realize this, the more you understand that your relationship wasn't just a coincidence and things just didn't happen because you were unlucky. There's always a reason to why certain events happen in your life. And this is supposed to be a learning experience. You're not going through all this pain and heartbreak just for no reason. You're going through it so that you can learn from it and avoid repeating certain patterns in the future. Relationships are so important. The person you're going to be with for the rest of your life it's so important. And you want to make sure that you put just as much work and effort into that as you would to your job, as you would to your physical fitness. And there's tons of really, really good books out there. My personal top 4 favorites are Love Life by Matthew Hussey. Amazing book. If you were to just read one book, just read that. Welcome Home by Najwa Zebian. Amazing book, such a great book. Attached is such a good book. And then The Untethered Soul, not necessarily about relationships, but it's just about any hardship or grief that you're going through life. These 4 books are definitely a must. If you're not a big reader, then just listen to it. And the thing about knowledge is not only are you helping yourself recover now and heal now, but you're actually helping your future self become an amazing partner because you're actually learning and you're growing. And people would be so lucky to be with you, because how much you've learned and grown from this once very terrible, awful experience, and how you literally turned into a freaking butterfly and become the best version of yourself. All right, guys, that was my 10-step guide as to how to heal from a heartbreak in the most healthiest, best way possible. I promise if you follow these 10 steps, you are set up for success and you're going to have the biggest glow up of your entire life. And I want to remind you that while this experience is incredibly painful, only you can get yourself out of it, and only you have the ability to transform this into something that will actually benefit you in the long run. Hang in there. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.